track, and then you can just see it settling in all through the pack. Now it's going to be the racing in the mid-pack. I think that was actually Nathan Allen that didn't get quite a good run, and Riley Jones, it might have been, that's looking to fight him, and now they'll settle themselves in, all single-filed out. Look at that high entry into turn number 3. They're trying to look after their tires. That's what that does as well. They're not forcing the cars to do anything, and Harris is going to have a go here. Sends it deep, deep on the brakes, and it's actually going to be Brian that lets him have it. So it's going to be Daniel Harris that leads us back to lap number 2 and down the back stretch for the second time. This is Paul Brian maybe saving a little bit of fuel, trying to extend the life of these tires a lot further. Yellow flags out for the first time tonight. Car at the tail end of the field is
we've got at least it looks like Jeremy Bush and might have pushed Callum Hodgkinson off the road as well. We'll get quick action replay thanks to DSL Welding Services.
I don't think they knew there were 3 wide there.
No, that has caused quite a decent crash. So did they make it through that first lap?
They did. They survived the first lap. That's lap number 2 coming down to turn number 1 for lap number 2. So
well done, guys. That's a great improvement over the first season, first round.
That's who's inside. I'm actually curious. So it's 3 wide in the middle of the pack trying to sort themselves through there. Taker's on pit lane. No one's actually come down for a splash top up of the fuel. If I'm at the tail end of the field here, I'm going a splash of fuel. So.
Oh, would you pull in now and get a bit of a splash and dash while you've got the time?
I mean, there's no reason not to. You're already at the back end of the pack, so that's already where it is. So it's actually Miles Burgess that is actually on the inside of Jeremy Bush. And he actually wasn't there. He was sort of had his nose there. He got a lot of damage from lap number 1. So a lot of things have happened to Miles Burgess. Things haven't gone his way.
No, definitely not. We saw about 4 or 5 guys get caught up in that little incident, which, you know, if it was further to the front of the pack, we probably could have had a complete and utter field wipeout with an incident like that. Bounce off the wall and straight back into the field, so tricky racing.
It's actually really tricky to get these cars. So I went back and had a look at where the damage from Miles Burgess actually came from. It's not actually from the incident with Jeremy Bush. It's actually from the initial jump. So these cars, the trucks are very, very difficult to get rolling. Don't have a lot of traction initially. They can kick sideways. That looks like that's the case with Jeremy Bush. That's actually where the damage from Miles Burgess came from. He just sort of got a really, really good launch and wasn't really sure. He's actually ended up making contact with the rear bumper of Glenn McLeod. McLeod was having a great run. McLeod actually got loose actually off of turn 4 as well. So we checked up Jeremy Bush, and that's what enabled the overlap. Because it looked like it was a really weird incident, sort of actually a multi-layered incident. This is something Racing Tosco should have a look at.
Worth going back and have a quick look live on streaming.
May as well. We've got a caution. That's the benefit.
We do have a caution. So we can probably
so have a look at the run here.
Just
if you
a little bit.
Yeah, have a look at Glenn McLeod is that blue car up ahead with the 84 on the side of it. Very loose, car's a little bit sideways coming off the turn before. Jeremy Bush is trying to look after himself. Remember what I said, keep yourself alive into that late race. So he just checks up a little bit, Burgess gets underneath him. I don't think Bush expected him to be there, and that's just what it is.
That is oval racing for you, isn't it?
I mean, they were 3 wide there. It's quite tricky, and I mean, I don't think Burgess knew that he was 3 wide as well, because he's only got the nose in there. The iRacing spotter and the way that all that works is it only sort of calls it when you specifically are 2 to 3 wide with somebody else. So if your nose is only alongside one other car, and that car's got a car to the outside of his nose, he knows that he's 3 wide, he knows that he's got a car underneath his rear bumper and a car on the outside of his front bumper, but nobody else will know that they're 3 wide.
Oh, right. I did try and do a bit of oval racing again.
Oh, here we go. This should be good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. I used to do quite well in the Eldora Cup, and then for some reason, I think it was my setup. Every time I turned a little bit left, my whole car would just want to leave the track. Yeah, I kept blaming cold tyres too, so.
Indy cars actually suffer from cold tyres quite a lot. Stock cars is not necessarily cold tyres they really suffer from. It's more the rear will rotate on cold tyres, whereas Indy cars tend to push, or the
are back and the restart is underway. We are lap 7 of 100 after a small incident at the start of lap 2. We're going to try and keep on board with as many of these cars as possible so we can see everything that's happening across the grid. Try and keep an eye on all the action tonight.
We got cameras everywhere. We got them in the sky, man. That one's hanging off the bottom from wind for sure.
Oh, this is my favourite chopper jam.
That's the fastest road in existence. Fastest lap of the race, Daniel Harris is actually just on the 29.471. So remember what I said at the very beginning? You want to look after these tires, you want to conserve them. Harris isn't. He's just going for it. He's a long way off the track.
He's trying to make up for that quitting out on us last week, right?
He must have heard the comments that you said, the things you said about him. But, that's going to play on his mindset tonight. How does he set himself up? How does he approach the racing? I said to him, look, man, he come in and he asked me for a couple tips prior to the race tonight. I said, look, it's all about tyre conservation. There's a slow car actually at the back end of the pack. I noticed something going on.
Good evening, sim racing world, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the DSL Welding NAS trucks for round 6 of our American invasion. Our drivers left Pocono Raceway and headed east on the road to Eldorado.
Chibby, it's Eldora, close.
Oh, sorry, mate.
You're thinking of the kids' movie. It's okay.
Yeah, yes.
It's okay. You're close.
Sorry, mate. I did mean to say Eldora. I've written that down wrong in my notes. I'll fix that next time. I am Nathan. Yeah, I am Nathan Shuby Howard, and joining me as always is our encyclopedia of everything oval racing, Scotty Rankin. Dirt and NAS trucks, mate. Who thought of such an outstanding idea?
Well, Dirt is actually the spiritual home of NASCAR. The first ever season of NASCAR back in 1949. 7 of the 8 tracks that originated that series were dirt ovals. How sick is that? We've been racing on dirt for such a long period of time. It's the origin of the American stock car tradition. That ran all the way up until 30th of September 1970, at which point NASCAR ceased running on dirt. Who knows why? All that we really know is that we're back. As of 2013, the trucks have started running at Eldora, its current home for dirt racing. However, unfortunately, COVID sort of stepped in. That's where sim racing took off, and that's where the running at Eldora sort of petered out for a little while. But we're back. We're turning left, and the way to turn left is you've actually got to turn back to the right. Where did I hear that? Another famous movie? We're all about kids' movies tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, with digging the kids' movies. And didn't they actually race at this speedway? Or one of the characters was actually made famous because of this speedway. And I believe it might have been Doc Hudson.
I don't know enough about the Hudson Hornet, so
oh, mate.
I don't know about you, mate, but I live in the real world, not this fantasy world that you're living in.
You need to go watch yourself some cars and get get some more information in that encyclopedia that we call you, mate, because you're gonna learn a lot just by watching the movie Cars.
Well, I mean, the one thing I have learned is that tires go down. For those of you who don't know, NASCAR this weekend just gone. It's pretty much the holy grail of racing right the world over because every major motorsport is sort of represented. We've just had the Monaco Grand Prix, we've had the Indy 500, Nürburgring 24-hour as well. So a lot of very important events right the world over for multiple different disciplines. NASCAR have their own. The longest race of the season is the Coke 600 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. And unfortunately, NASCAR are having a few teething issues with their latest generation of racing cars, and a lot of tires went down, which made it the longest race on record.
And how long did that race actually go for then, if that was on record?
I have no idea. I watched the end of it and went, oh, is it over?
I'm taking that encyclopedia tag off you, mate. If you don't know something, then jeez, come on. Quickly Google it for us. Fill us in. People want to know these things.
Well, I mean, not a lot of people follow the real-life NASCAR world, but we get to see the Australian version of it. One of the critical things here tonight is that we actually have a whole host of guys that are sort of dirt aficionados within the league. We're actually really, really lucky. One of Australia's fastest dirt sprint car drivers is actually Paul Bryan, who's currently sitting third place in the championship. And, well, I mean, who doesn't have fond memories of hearing dirt sprint cars in the background whizzing around speedways? I know I do. The speedway in my hometown's actually quite close. So.
Yeah, I live about 10 minutes from mine, mate, and we've lived in about 4 different suburbs around this speedway, and we've constantly been out to hear them on the weekends, and it's just such a nice...
Is that great?
Oh, mate, I love sitting out on the back deck and just sitting there and just listening to the engines roaring. Never been to one. I should probably try that. I bet you it's better than sitting out there not looking at anything, so...
Look, racing's just fantastic any way you do it. Have a look at that tyre. Look at it working hard. There's grooves cut into it tonight. That's to get some purchase down there. Normally when you see grooves cut into a tyre, it's to flick water out of the way so you can generate some grip. And you can actually see Paul is trying to run a bottom line. That dark patch, that real chunky looking patch you can see in the middle of the circuit, that's what they call the slick. So that's where all of the really good loamy dirt has sort of been burned out. And now there's little to no grip. It's really hard pack, really slick. Now, I believe you were actually the one that was telling me another fact about this racetrack earlier. What's the dirt composed of, Shibby?
It's clay. It's not dirt, although, you know, clay is a part of the earth, and they call, you know, a lot of the different crusts of the earth dirt. So, like, yeah, but it's clay. It's not dirt.
And one of the fun facts about clay, I can tell you this from experience racing motocross on it, my home track, the track that we actually looked after was clay base as well, is that clay with a little bit of water on it just turns to absolute ice. So good thing the weather's looking good for these guys.
Yep, sorry. Don't know what happened then, but yeah, the weather is looking good, mate.
You better apologise, Shibby. How dare you?
Don't even know what happened, and I'm apologising. But yes, the weather is looking good. How sick is that? 28 degrees Celsius. Hey,
ATVs!
You're freaking interjecting me. I'm trying to tell the people here about the weather. They want to know about the weather. They're not here for the racing. They want the forecast.
I'm here for ATVs, mate. I don't know what you're on about. You're talking all of this weather and stuff. And I'm just over here thoroughly enjoying looking at ATVs. I mean, I'm kind of tempted to just throw the truck thing out the window and go ATV racing.
Imagine that, throwing some ATVs into iRacing. Come on, get some new... I want to see lawnmower racing, freaking, you know, ATVs. Let's get some go-karts in. All right, so...
I think go-karts were actually on the plan at some stage. But anyway, we haven't gotten there.
All right, so we have just started qualifying, which we got 5 minutes of qualifying, 1 hot lap and 2 quick laps. And if I can push the right button, no, people just keep disappearing off track. That's why I can't find anyone. Jump on board with Tom Neal and we'll have a look what people do. Lucky Capel's already done a 19.8 with a Brian with a 19.6 straight away. So we have some pretty high class licenses. So as we were talking about before, Paul Bryan is a Class A license. So I think
a lot of people focus on safety rating. It's the other number that you want to look at. It's the I rating. The I rating's an ELO-based system.
4,360K sitting next to his name.
Yeah, one of those ones. For Paul Bryan, I've got it up as 5.2K. So.
Oh, sheesh.
The man can drive.
Well, he has taken pole right now with Lucky Capel, our little young gun, freaking absolutely killing it in the NAS trucks this season. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes on dirt. Does look like he might have clipped the front of that vehicle. Or no, I was just seeing things. Don't you worry. But I definitely think we're going to see a lot of bumping and grinding into that top wall tonight. It's going to be an absolute banger of a race as we see Braden Martin. Full 360 back into it, mate. Absolutely beautiful work. Gotta love to see it. I want to see you do that in the race, mate. We want to see that in the race.
Braden actually messaged me earlier on in the piece and today. He's like, how do you do this? What am I doing wrong? I can't do anything right. Help, please help. So he's struggling. He's getting there. There's a few guys who are actually making their dirt debut tonight as well. So look, honestly, superior form of racing if you ask me.
Mate, dirt racing is fun. Even if you are only turning left, this is going to be fun.
It's much harder when you add rights back into it.
Yeah, 100%. So these are the same. This is the same setup truck. Did the setup in this truck change from any of the actual tarmac ovals, or is it the exact same? So it has changed.
So it's so iRacing. The benefits of iRacing is that we get we actually get a few different fixed setups. iRacing actually, particularly for the stock cars, they actually generate setups for basically every track that's on the server, including the legacy tracks that are no longer really used all that much. So one of the benefits is when you actually want to go racing and you want to go racing in stock cars, is that these trucks, the trucks, the Arca Menards, the Xfinity series, the next gens, and the old Gen 6 Cup cars, all of them have setups unique to all of the tracks, with one exception, and that's a track that's actually outside of America, which we're actually going to a little bit later on in the season, which is Motegi, Twin Ring Motegi. So I've actually got to come up with a setup for that so we can zone that in and make sure that these guys are all racing on similar platforms. So if you don't have the money to, say, buy setups, you don't have the time to really work on and dial in a setup, iRacing actually offers fixed setup racing within the stock car world, and it's I like it. I really, really like it because it's about how much you can adapt to the car, and the specific setup and everything about it. So, qualifying run and done.
Always, mate. It's always very quick with these guys. Usually on the tarmac, you see them push their fastest lap, so they don't want to burn out their tires to get the quickest lap. And yeah, tonight they've 5-minute qual, just get out there, smash that out so they can get out there and be side by side with these guys. Now, I do look forward to a bit of, hopefully I'd love to see some four sideways around these corners tonight and the chaos. You know I'm in it for the chaos. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these guys play the field. And yeah, it's going to be a great race.
SRW, can I get a new broadcaster? Yeah, the one that I've got, he wants to see more accidents. Yeah, I know. Look, I've been trying to work on him week after week, and he's just here for the chaos and bent spoilers, splitters, those sorts of things. He's actually not here for racing.
No. Anybody else out in the comments? Anybody else out there in YouTube or Facebook land that's only into NASCAR just to see the awesome crashes that may or may not happen?
No, so you mean I'm stuck with... So I'm going to do the rest of the season with him.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I've discussed it, and my options are... Well, there is no options.
No, I hate to inform you, mate, but I actually am on the admin team of SRW, so there could be a little bit of swaying in the background happening there to keep me on board, so... Well,
ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor broadcasting with you. Tonight will be my last broadcast for SRW.
And it's over. End the stream now. Scotty's done.
It's early.
It's early, and we've got a whole lot of racing to go. So we're running this as a heat session tonight. So 3 heats, correct?
Yes. So I'm just having a quick look through, and it looks like in terms of qualifying, we ended up with... I think we've only got 20 entrants, so everyone that's actually entered here tonight will end up making it into the feature. So what the plan was that we were going to run it 3 heats. I was expecting a full grid of about the 30-odd that we've been getting over the last few weeks. And what that's going to create is a scenario whereby you're actually going to have guys missing out the feature race at the end of the night. So there was supposed to be 3 heats. Of those heats, 6 would transfer into the feature. There is only going to be 2 heats. The top 6 of those 2 heats are going to transfer into the feature, so 12 from the heats. That will set their grid orders within... You've got a fast heat and a slow heat. The fast heat will generally have the inside line for the feature. So first will be first in line, second, etc. And then the slow heat will tend to be to the outside. You'll have first, second, etc. within the outside line. Then the consolation will fill the back couple of rows of the grid. But given that we've only got 20 cars and we haven't hit our maximum of 24, everyone will make the feature. Everyone's getting points.
Fantastic. A bit like Oprah tonight. You get some points and you get some points. And we are just about to go green, and this is going to be an interesting start on dirt. Oh, that's not... I don't want to see the suspension right now. We want to see the cars.
And have a look at Nathan Allen. So he's gone for a momentum run around the top side. So longer way around the track, but it's easy. You can use more throttle, keep your foot into it, really keep that momentum up. So when you come around to the straights, if the car on the bottom hasn't quite cleared you and slid up in front of you, there's a clear lane to keep your momentum up. You can actually complete the pass around the bottom or the top. So all of that hard racing that we've seen in multi-groove racing over the last few weeks does happen on dirt as well.
Yeah, we were discussing that before. You'll be able to see the track as we go through. It'll start getting dug up, and you'll see where the clay is being thrown to the top side of the track. And that's going to make it really, really impossible for these boys to actually get up to that top side of the track and keep any sort of...
No, actually kind of the inverse. It actually trends, what happens is as the track wears out, the fast lane moves towards the top. You end up with a little bit of a berm at the top of the track. And I forget what it's called now. The lip. I think it's called the lip. Anyway, basically you want to put your right rear tyre on that lip, and it gives you really, really good drive, as well as it helps to keep the car pointing where you want the car to go. So it's all about keeping it right on that, at the cushion. It's called the cushion. That's what it is.
Buddy, the encyclopedia of all knowledge coming through with the goods again. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing.
Glenn McLeod's another one of our dirt oval racers, so he must be struggling. I believe he's quite good in a dirt sprint car. These aren't dirt sprint cars, a lot bigger, a lot heavier, and power to weight ratio is not quite as high. So the dirt sprint car as well, they're all set up, they're all leaning on that right rear tyre and actually have different sized tyres around the car as well, all trying to slide. You've got to use a little bit of a brake in these cars sometimes, and it's all about playing and tinkering with the throttle the whole time. Tyre wear is not as much of an issue as the track wear. This track wear is far more.
You can definitely see the cars kicking up all this clay all over the track as they tear around. I was going to laugh at myself then. I was laughing at the joke we made at the beginning about the Rotel Tour. Oh no. I don't know why I found that funny right now. Dear oh dear. It's a Monday night. It's been a big week, alright?
It has. And it was a great joke. You absolutely nailed it.
Thanks, mate.
It was all done on screen. There was no pre-planning.
No, we don't write scripts for the intros and outros. That's not how professional we are.
Have a look at Nathan Allen. He's really settling into this top lane, but Paul Bryan has just gapped these guys. That's just the level of skill that he has. Now, Nathan Allen is actually quite good, and Riley Jones, both of these guys are actually, this is their preferred discipline in terms of racing. These guys are actually teammates as well. So even though they've got the different liveries, you've got one in the Man-Up Sim racing car, and I believe it's one in the Velocity Sim racing cars as well. So I was actually expecting to see Dylan DeBono out in the field tonight. Looks like he hasn't made it. He's another phenomenal dirt oval driver.
Good to hear that we've got some actual, these guys too, you were telling me they race IRL. If people don't know what IRL is, in real life on the dirt. So, oh, hello, that's not the view I wanted.
No, steer him directly in the eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was
Race
finished of heat. Man, that was so fast. Not much chaos. I feel a little bit disappointed about that. Great racing from the boys, though. It was good to see. Definitely not going to complain about some good racing. All right, so am I going to be able to get this up quick enough? Is that going to work?
So that's the heat results from the last heat. So yeah, Paul Bryan's going to start from the pole position of the inside of the front row. Nathan Allen will be behind him. Riley Jones. This is just grid setting and sort of generally the way that Dirt Oval works is you have multiple heats throughout the evening, and it sets itself up that way. So it's all about setting grids, getting points. So that's what you're experiencing tonight. I mean, you would have seen it if you attend on Friday nights, and you would have seen any of the rallycross racing as well. It's all about heats, generally because the grid size is smaller for the rallycross.
The rallycross is a blast.
If you think that this is fun,
yeah,
try adding jumps and right-hand turns into it.
And a handbrake occasionally. Actually, sometimes more occasionally than anything else.
heat number 2. Darren Parmenter. I'm really impressed with Darren Parmenter. Hey, he's done a phenomenal job, actually. So this must be his preferred discipline as well.
He has done really well. I think a lot of these guys have actually, throughout the season, have driven extremely well. Especially, I'm going to shout them out again, the new guys that have just come to NAS trucks. Look like Lucky Cable was trying to get side by side. Yeah, the pace car then. He was very interested in pushing that thing out of the way. But yeah, the new guys, fresh to NASCAR trucks, have done a great job this season, and it's been an absolute pleasure to watch.
Yeah, look, Lucky Caple's come under my wing, so him leading the championship is sort of my fault, so you can blame me for that one.
Are you helping old Dano out?
Yes, I like seeing anyone who knocks Capel off his perch, so yes.
And didn't they have a great race last week?
Oh man, it was on for young and old. Green flag in the air yet again. And Capel's... this is not a preferred discipline for Capel. This is one of his... Oh, Parmenter just got a heap of sideways
into the wall.
And that's going to allow Matty Skulls to slide through a whole bunch of cars. So remember, this isn't a feature. This isn't everything. You know, it's about just transferring it as high a spot as you can. Look at the car control from Capel. That right rear tire is right on the edge of that loam dirt. The loam dirt has too much grip and it slows the car down and doesn't allow the car to rotate. And Matthew Skulls has just sent what we call a slider, a slide job there, whereby he's tried to cut the courses as short as he possibly can, clear the guy that's up on the top side, and then take the line away from him. The guy on the outside's response is to check up a little bit, get out of the throttle, rotate the car a little bit, and then get back into the gas heavily and point it and shoot it. And you can sort of over-under. It's on dirt, it's a little bit different. You don't slide, obviously, on asphalt. You do on ovals. You do on dirt ovals, sorry.
Oh, yes. Especially in a car like this, it is definitely going to slide. So it looks like George Minus and Peter Morris had a bit of a coming together at the back there. I don't know if you caught that, Scotty.
No, I didn't, but I can tell you that Lucky Cable's actually ranging up on them really quickly.
Yeah, yep, so they definitely have come up with a bit of an incident. I'm not going to get a replay just yet, as we've got a few guys side by side.
So Skulls got just over-rotated the car, and anytime you're over-sliding, you would have felt it if you've ever slid a car, you actually lose momentum. Drifting is a slower way around the corner, generally. So it's about maintaining enough drift angle that you can get the car around the corner whilst maintaining as much momentum as you possibly can. They're really short tracks here too.
Like to hear what actual professional drifters think about that's not the quickest way to get around a corner. Because I feel like they get around those corners pretty damn quick.
It's for them. It's not about getting around the corner quickly. It's about getting around it with style.
Yeah, and gosh, it looks good
when done correctly, of course.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah.
if you're interested in any of these driving behaviours that you have seen, perform them on a simulator, not out on your local road. Driver safety now.
Yeah, that's right. I'll go hit up the tracks. I know we've got quite a few tracks in Queensland that do drift sessions and race sessions, and great place to go and smash up your car without hurting anybody but yourself.
And the car.
Yeah, and the car. But I'm not worried about the car. Cars are replaceable. People's lives aren't.
We've got to stop this podcasting because a race has broken out again.
We're watching the race, man. I can clearly see what's going on. This is a beautiful race.
What, Skullsy's having a blast, though, isn't he? Look at the angle on that car. I don't think he's worried about how fast he's driving. I think he's just worried about having fun. But actually, conveniently, talking about Matty Skulls, he's actually moved up a fair few places in the championship now. It's probably actually the best opportunity to talk about championship points, because at this stage, sort of the field's sort of spread out. So Capel leads the way on 216, and then 12 points back. That's the margin. 12 points back is Hayden Norris. We saw him. He just didn't have that great finish last week out. They were trading back and forth. And as Norris is running in third position in this heat tonight. So this is a great opportunity for Capel.
Oh, there is incident. It all started with the man we're looking at now, Hayden Norris. It was not his fault, but he got a little bit offline. Oh, what's he doing? He's showing off.
Race is over.
Okay, that said lap 3 of 10 on mine, so that was very odd. Right at the end there, a bit of sideways action across the finish line. I don't know, Ooh, let's see if I can put some magic here. Okay, sure.
So basically what will happen is, remember how we said before that we had the top 6 slots in each row will transfer from their heats. So now what we're doing is we're actually going to set basically the order that these guys finish this heat, the consolation race, will mean that after the top 6 rows, whereby it's going to be formed up, 1 to 6 inside outside basically, in terms of where they finish within their heats. Now it's going to be the remainder of the cars will transfer in the position that they finish on. So basically they're racing for 13th on the grid for the feature race here. And track position is key. It's actually really difficult to overtake in a lot of dirt oval circuits. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to find your groove. The track evolves throughout the evening as well. So it's, generally grid position going into your feature races is quite important, because the further up the field you are, the less cars, and a lot of these guys have learned that lesson already so far this season. The less cars are actually ahead of you, the less cars can have an accident and then slide backwards into you. So
Okay, our timing table is not showing the correct thing, everybody. Extremely sorry about that. I'll try and get this fixed. It looks like it's showing the whole field and not the heat, so bear with us, but we're going to keep rolling through the racing. I have tried to turn it off.
Welcome to Dirt Ovals, where timing software tends to break down.
Yeah, the timing ticker's not working, the lap thing's not working, but hey, look, if we know who we're looking at and can let the viewers know, we're just going to keep rolling with it.
Yeah, so I can tell you, Jeremy Bush is leading us away from the inside, and Rick Jones is up there on the outside. Peter Morris, the Fishy Motorsports entry, was off of P3. Leon Williams, P4. Tom Neal, John McHenry, and George Minus were your 7 cars that are here in the consolation race. So you can see as well, these guys aren't out as sideways. I think a few of them are having a few issues with just maintaining that slide. It's about pumping the throttle. It's about really using the slide and being comfortable with the slide of the car around. You can see John McHenry and George Minus. These guys are actually having a really, really great battle that's clean as well, and that's critical with dirt. It's so easy to make a mistake, drive it into too aggressively, the car rotates too much in the middle of the corner. These guys are doing phenomenal. To go side by side for this long is awesome. And have a look at Leon Williams going back and forth with Peter Morris as well. So you can tell that just about everyone on the field's having fun tonight.
It looks like an absolute blast. I was a little bit sad that I couldn't be out there as well. Honestly, this would probably be the only race I'd be keen on giving a go. Love me a bit of dirt sideways action. Look at these boys.
Hey, where were you? Pocono last week. That's the best of it.
That actually was an amazing race to watch.
And don't forget, we've got our one and only Super Speedway race coming up next week. So, I mean, if you want easiest, the race of the season, well, I mean, you can sort of say Daytona's the easiest race of the season, because pretty much foot to floor, sit in draft pack, don't spin. That's about as, yeah. Don't make sure that when you bump drafting the car ahead, that you're square to the rear of the car. Otherwise, that's where you don't weave up and down the track, hold your lane a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That's about all it is.
Simple. No, it doesn't sound too difficult at all.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a new broadcaster. So you're in the sim next week. That's it. Shippy Howard locked in.
Mate, I'm in the sim every Friday.
No. Full go Friday. You work Friday this week. We'll let you in on Monday.
No.
Oh, John just didn't get the rotation on the car that he wanted. Step back on the gas.
Wall.
And that's the thing. He's trying to drive the car too straight. And that's where you lose speed, because to drive the car straight, you've got to be out of the gas. You've got to basically use the throttle to rotate the cars. So normally, George Minus is obviously struggling a little bit with it. And he's doing well. This will actually help George with skills. So to be able to slide the car comfortably is a unique skill set. And it's honestly something I would strongly encourage. Oh, too aggressive on the throttle, Georgie. That's all it was. Oh, and I'm just watching the front end of town as well. Rick Jones just had a huge bobble coming off of, I think it's 1 and 2. Yeah, it was 1 and 2, and this is 3 and 4. And then back past the start-finish line there on the outside where the flag is waved. So he was actually running up a few spots further high. He was actually ahead of, I believe, Leon Williams at the time when he had that bobble. So he's lost 2 spots.
Yeah, Peter Morris and Leon Williams and Tom Neal have actually both got... He's lost 3 there.
And look, Georgeson, Georgeson already transferred. My apologies. I'm looking. The timing tower, it's lying to me.
Yeah, yep, I've tried refreshing the overlays to see what will happen, but it's...
Georgie, no!
Yeah, he's done it again, but he's out here giving it a go, and that's all that matters.
I tell you what, that's actually... we were talking points earlier in the night, so Capel leads by 12. There is 1 point that separates Aiden Norris on 204 to Paul Bryan on 203. And remember, this is Bryan's preferred skill set. Then we throw it back to Matty Skulls, who's on 193. 2 points behind him is Braden Martin, so you've got a really close fight there. Glenn McLeod on 184, 4 points back to Jeremy Bush, and Jeremy Bush, you can see on screens, leading the consolation race away at the moment. So Glenn McLeod's already transferred into our feature event. And then it's basically the rest of the way through the field. There's only a couple points between everyone. So every place, every week matters. Massive. Like you would not believe.
That's true. It's not... Because we're running heats now, you're not seeing the full pack of races in here. So we are...
You're about to see all 20 cars out on track after this.
Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. The racing has been too clean and too good tonight for my liking. How dare they race respectively? What is this? This is not NASCAR.
I mean, it absolutely is. You can even there's cars sideways everywhere.
Ah, mate, honestly, to see these sideways on dirt is absolutely unreal.
Checkered flag in the air. Jeremy Bush takes your consolation race. There we go.
Jeremy Bush, Leon Williams, Peter Morris, Tom Neal, Rick Jones, John McHenry, and George Minus. So we
shout out to everyone out in chat anywhere tonight. If you're actually enjoying proceedings, let us know. You know, has it been interesting seeing something a little bit different? Much the same as we saw earlier on in the season. We saw these guys coming from COTA. You know, so circuit racing and trucks that aren't really designed to do that sort of thing. Now we're doing it on dirt. I mean, again, the trucks are designed, but this isn't their primary sort of formation. So what's now happened as well, track has been reset to 0 state. Why do we do that? The iRacing generation of a track state is generally not all that great. So what the better way to do it is when you're running a dirt event is you have a warm-up period in between your consolation race and your feature race. You let a certain number of cars out on the track for a certain number of laps. In this case, it's the whole field because we've got the right sort of numbers for 5 minutes. That'll run the track in just enough such that we get a slightly worn-in track so that it looks a little bit run-on, as if we've almost had heats and a consolation race already so far tonight, but not too fresh that it's really hard to race these trucks around. So the goal here is for these guys to get a little bit of an expression session, some more practice with a bunch of cars out on track of different skill levels, different speeds at different times, as well as to sort of get a really good starting track state. That enables these guys to have some good racing. So if we were to sit here and say, oh, for the feature we want our track state to be 30% worn in, iRacing track state's not going to be great for that. So naturally worn in's the best way to go.
These boys are tagging it out on each other right now. Great to see, great to see. We got Peter Morris in the chat saying he loves it, handful but so much fun. The arms and right foot get a good workout, laugh out loud. Not good for the old Sippo-meter.
Yeah, see, the thing about most NASCAR tracks is you've got a big old straight between the two corners. That's you can get a beer, take a sip, and get back into racing. You kind of can't do that. The track's only 800 meters in length.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't have time to quickly put it, unless you can drive one-handed. Come on, Pete, you can drive one-handed.
Yeah, you can drive one-handed. I drive with the beer in my... I drive with the left hand, beer in the right hand. There you go. Jeez, that was a big impact, I think, for Nick George near the outside.
All
Shout out
right.
to Luke Goodson, who's actually, I believe, streaming to the After Dark Sim Racing Facebook page there tonight. So he's been having an absolute blast in the oval racing. Oh, look at that hangout sideways. Was that Paul Bryan? I look like Paul Bryan. Look at that! Look at the angle on it. It's Riley Jones.
Pushing it.
Yeah, he is just in the gas. Remember how clean these trucks look right now, because they're going to look scratched up at the tail end of it.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Sorry about the overlay changing, guys. I am trying to work on getting our overlay back up. I have just switched to a stock standard NASCAR layout for now.
Doesn't matter. It's all working.
No,
It'll
I don't know what's going on. If I can't see my overlay, I have no clue what's happening in the race.
Cars are turning left, but they've got the wheel crank back to the right.
They're turning left
good news.
very fast.
The only issue here is that turn 1 tends to look like turn 2, which looks like turn 3, which looks like turn 4. So.
Okay. So they're turning left around 4 corners.
I don't know how far around the track they are, but they're on the track.
They are on the track. That's good to know, because right now we're sitting in the spectators' yard, and we definitely don't want to see any trucks up in taking out our poor spectators tonight.
It's catch fencing. It'll do its job, I promise.
It does, yeah. Like 7 times out of 10. Then there's the occasional car that just flies through them.
If you want to see accidents, some of the coolest accidents to watch are dirt sprint cars, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because those things, when they go, they just keep going. Because there's so much energy and there's such a light car that they just keep going and bounce. But they're designed to do that. They're designed to shed parts. Like Fabian Coulthard at the Chase years ago in the V8 supercars.
Oh, yes. Yep.
I mean, they're designed to just shed that weight because it's shedding energy. Whilst ever they're flinging bits and pieces away from the car and the roll cage is staying intact, that's the car doing its job as a protective cage. So.
Oh, there's a bit of what is going on out of pit exit. There was 4 cars having a little tea party just then.
So, cautions now get toggled on. The warm-up rate has just finished. Checkered flag in the air now. Paul Bryan was your fastest through that. Lachlan Capel, Nathan Allen. That might just be qualifying order, actually. Don't worry too much about that. But yeah, now we're on to our feature race. 45 laps. 45 laps. Cautions will happen. Whoever's generally the cause of the caution is going to be sent to the rear of the field. So basically, if you take somebody out, if it's pretty clear that you're the reason the caution flag is flown, you have to go back to the end of the field and drive back through again.
And 19 cars on track. Let's go. Can we also... Does NASCAR overtime also work on dirt ovals? It'd have to, right?
I have no clue.
Oh mate, I get so excited.
Caution laps shouldn't count. I don't know if that's working. So this is my first time hosting a dirt oval event. So generally what happens in a dirt oval event is that caution laps will not count. However, even the admin team are rookies here tonight. So anything could happen.
Oh mate, I'm looking forward to seeing anything can happen with 19 cars on the track.
Okay, caution laps count. I'm pretty sure caution laps count. So it should be a pretty quick race.
Are you not the admin that set up this series for us?
I am not. John McHenry does all the series.
Okay.
So me and him had an extended debate about how to try and get all of this sorted earlier today, and I'm pretty sure I knew I forgot something. I couldn't remember what I forgot, and I went, no, she'll be right. And it's caution laps are supposed to not count for these events, and I've forgotten that, so caution laps will count.
All right, there we go. You've heard it here. Caution laps will count. As we, what is this, 2 laps and then green? Oh gosh, lucky Cable is wiggling the tyre over there and just stepped it out a little bit and smacked his rear end into the wall.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that prior to the green flag, Lockie. Wait until at least the green flag, mate.
You would assume so.
Anyway, I believe George Minus is going to start from pit lane. Other than that, 18 cars formed up. Let's go racing, baby!
Oh, yes. And we are green. Oh, this is... We got to get some chopper over the top of this.
You thought it was chaos before when there was only 7 to 10 of these guys out on track. Now, there's 19 cars out on track and turning it up, trying to have a big old race. Georgeson in the wall up on high. Now have a look at Matty Skulls. Made a mistake in his heat race. Drifted a long way back. He's going to start to recover. Aiden Norris is doing a phenomenal job for a guy learning to drive dirt. And I think that was Nathan Allen getting a big chunk of the wall up on the high side. He'll start to settle back in. 3 wide on the entry to turn number 3 for the second lap of the feature here tonight. As Riley Jones, I think it is, he's just cut down and in between them, and Hayden Norris has lost a spot. Now trying to drive it over and under. I think that was Nathan Allen. Whether or not he will get that move done, we'll have to keep our eyes on it. No, he's come to grief with the outside barrier. And I think that's Braden Martin that's gone in there along with him.
Yeah, mate, 100% correct. We're going to get a quick replay thanks to DSL Welding to see what actually happened there. We are going to get a caution. There's a few other guys that are spinning around in the midst of it. Oh, that car's blowing a bit of smoke. That is not
Nathan Allen's
good sign.
Gonna have to come down and get himself.
All right, so we're on board right now with Braden Martin. Let's see if we can see where everything started from. Oh, it wasn't Braden Martin. The car 83 has actually lost control. Nathan Allen, yep, has actually lost control, hit the wall, and then, yeah, the rest was history. Then they're trying to fight for position. So here it is again from Nathan Allen's view. What's happened? He's come down. Oh, he's actually clipped the side of the After Dark car.
I think that's, yeah, Luke Georgeson. So I think Allen was just expecting Georgeson to be a little bit higher on the corner, and look at Skulls. Skulls is going to fire into that outside barrier.
Well,
anyway,
good action. Telling you. Let me know in the comments who's here for exactly that reason. There's got to be a few of yous out there. So will this be a pace car? Is that how this works? We are under caution.
Yep. So we're under caution. I believe we're starting to form back up again to go green.
And we are green again. Lucky Capel, Paul Bryan up front. It'll be interesting to see how long these guys are going to battle for, or to see if they can make an actual move on each other and get out of the way. There is so much happening across this field. 2 cars wide, 3 cars wide.
It's just about pick your lane, and have a look at Nathan Allen. Keep your eyes on him. He got sent to the rear of the field, obviously having to come down pit road and get his engine fixed. Now he qualified. He was second in line, I think it was, on that inside lane. So he's now trying to fight his way back through the field so he can get some points underneath him. He's running in the mid-pack in terms of the championship standings. Really good driving there as well. Have a look at the way that he was racing. Peter Morris just said he recognized he was going to slide up. Peter Morris was there and in that lane. So he actually gets back in the gas to turn the car a little bit harder and avoid these guys. Braden Martin avoiding coming back through the field as well. So it's very difficult. Morris got stuck in the outside fence there. Trying to pick up some momentum on the high side was Nathan Allen. Sends it down the inside. That's a slide job from Allen. Puts Morris into the fence. So Peter Morris will not be happy with that. Nathan Allen manages to hang on to the position, and he will continue to surge forward. Now he's going to start assaulting Aaron Hayden, I believe it is. So starting to cut his way back through the field is Nathan Allen. And have a look at the car in behind him now. I believe that might have been John McHenry. No, it wasn't John McHenry. It was Leon Williams. Peter Morris spinning down on the low line.
Oh, just clipped the wall there, dude.
You can't grab the brakes in these things.
Yeah,
because if you grab the brakes on dirt, you just go straight. You go straight. You go dead straight whilst ever you're on the brakes.
Well, let's get a quick look at what happened with Mr. Peter Morris. What's going on tonight, mate? You're trying to reach for that beer again, aren't you, buddy? You've already told us in the chat, mate, that there's not good for the sippometer, but clearly you've tried to go for a quick reach of that beer. Oh,
he's got a helping hand.
A little bit of a helping hand.
So he's trying to make a really cool move there, and he's trying to do the over-under. And he's just shoved the nose into the spot, nearly got it done, and Skulls is just, that's racing. That's just hard racing. There's nothing in that whatsoever. That's both drivers trying to do something really cool. Skulls is trying to hold his line. He's trying to get a run, and it's just not worked out.
That's going to be hard. You've got, what are these, 1,600 kilo trucks, aren't they? They're quite heavy.
Something ridiculous. I believe they work in pounds, so don't ask.
Yeah, that's not talking pounds.
And how much fuel they've got on board tonight? Gallons.
Gallons, yeah. An oil drum. 44 gallons.
Just put a whole oil drum in the fuel tank, and that'll get you to the end of the race.
No, without a problem.
Running on the smell of an oily rag? Yeah, we'll see that.
There you go, see? Isn't that what diesels do? They just run on oil, right? Not really fuel. That's why they're so expensive right now. Alright, we are coming back around. I think this will be the last time, and the safety car will be pulling into the pits, and we will be going green again. On board with Paul Bryan, Lockie Capel right next to him, Riley Jones, Glenn McLeod. Oh, the car 99, the After Dark Sim Racing car there.
On the low line, they're right next to each other. It looks a little bit deceiving because Riley Jones is actually slightly ahead. So Capel actually got really tight there, and the car didn't want to turn on the corner entry. So the track's starting to wear, and how these guys have got to drive, it's changing. Yellow flag in the air once more.
That looks like we've had an incident at the back of the pack then.
Tom Neal,
yeah. It looks like Tom Neal dropped quite a lot of positions somewhere in there. So we'll go back and go on board with Tom Neal, and we'll have a look here and see what happened. Right up high on that line with nowhere to go. Oh, and Peter Morris has been caught up in the back of that as well. And he's had to pull into the pits as well. Hopefully he can get that repaired if he needs it and get back on track. Has Mr. George Minus finished up tonight?
I think he's had enough. This dirt stuff too tricky. Had enough of it.
Well, look, let's just show off his beautiful livery on his car. The Scooby-Doo and the gang. He's always got such colourful liveries. Gotta love me some Scooby-Doo.
Look, he may not be out on the racetrack, but it doesn't matter. We'll still pay attention to him.
Yeah, that's right. Peter's just dropped back in and said, almost. You almost copped yourself a bit of damage there, did you, mate?
Yeah, Pete take another... he's just coming down the pit lane so he can take another sip. That's why.
Yeah, have your sip, mate. Take your time. The more safety cars, the more sips you get. Mate, I think if our NAS trucks run again next season, which I hope they do, we need to get some more. We need to get some more dirt tracks in as well. And we are green again. Don't know what Scotty's doing. He's not paying attention.
Oh, I'm paying attention. I don't know what you're on about.
Oh,
have a look at the drift angle there from Paul Bryan. He's trying to get that thing out sideways. Huge wreck in the middle of the car sideways, and everyone has dodged it. That's amazing. That's great driving. That is car control. But unfortunately, Aiden Norris has dropped a whole host of spots, so he is going to have to fight back through the field. So he and Paul Bryan, remember, are having a phenomenal fight in terms of second position in the championship. And if he wants a chance to assault, too much throttle.
Look at that.
That's all it is from Aiden Norris. Too much throttle and the car goes around.
Aiden
Yeah, that one.
Yep, that's
The
this
20.
guy. Yep.
Yeah, him.
I
Yeah.
had to start on someone else. Ah,
No,
yeah,
just-
throws it. Oh. Oh.
George,
Lads.
phenomenal driving. But whoever that car was, the Locked On Lads car, go on board with them dodging that incident, because if they've done a phenomenal job to keep the car down low on the
I
track.
think that could have been.
God damn it, Capel. Oh my god, Lucky Capel's having fun. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. What was he doing?
He was wiggling the car down the backstretch.
Is that? Yeah, he was doing that before in the last one, and he flipped the back of his truck into the wall. I think it was Leon Williams, I believe, that dodged this incident.
You might have called it correct. No, it's another car a little bit further up. But anyway, doesn't matter. The end result is it's actually really difficult with a big heavy truck like that to avoid an incident, and everyone's done a phenomenal job.
And if we have time, we've got to clear fuel. Estimated laps 227. So Peter's done exactly what we said and just threw a full oil drum of fuel into his truck. That's the way to do it. Alright, we are back and racing again.
I actually didn't know that they would fill up your truck if you came down pit lane, so I learned something there. I just assumed that they wouldn't.
I think if you have your setting turned on in your pit crew or something, it'll just auto do it.
Yeah. Anyway, they're 3 wide back in the middle of the pack. Matty Scholes has finally made his way back up onto the lead lap. He was actually a lap down there at some point. He's made his way back. Got the lucky dog, starting to clear a whole host of cars. Stretches the legs down the back straight away. Look at him trying to ride on the bottom side of that slick line. There's no grip in that stuff. No grip whatsoever. You either want to be on the bottom side of it, or you want to be all the way up the top. Aiden Norris, another guy trying to fight his way through. Just lightly taps Scalzi, but they'll both get away with it. The car that won is Leon Williams, and then Scalzi gets another piece.
It's happening.
Teammates back into each other. I do not want to be a part of that team chat.
That is going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. So this all started with car 605.
Let's see if we can actually grab Scalzi. Let's grab him there.
So Matty Skulls has clipped his teammate, which then in turn has clipped one of the Locked On lads, which then in turn has clipped the
Scalzi, I thought you guys are supposed to be teammates, mate. You're not supposed to run into each other.
That's all fair game.
So if Aiden Norris goes door to door with you again here on this next restart, you guys are like right next to each other in a queue.
It wouldn't be the right way if we're not into each other.
No team
How is
orders?
it, mate? It's very tricky to drive. Obviously, that slick is run its way in. You're obviously really learning how to manage your throttle pressure by the sounds of things at the moment. But these things, they slide, but they're very heavy, aren't they?
Yep, I've done 0 racing, so it's all new to me. It's good fun. It's a new experience.
Cutting your way through the field now you're back on the lead lap, learning to drive around people on dirt's... First off, learning to drive on dirt's difficult, then learning to drive around people on dirt's even worse.
Yeah, definitely. I was sticking to the inside wall then to try and stay away from it all.
Alright, mate, well, I believe he's will be going green the next lap by, not this one, but the next one. About halfway through the feature here, mate. Head down, go get a few more spots, yeah?
Yeah, we'll do. Cheers for that.
Well, Shibbles, he's having an absolute blast, he is.
It's great to hear, mate. That's what we want in our league. It's what we want. If you guys are interested out there, go down to the description. You'll find a link to our website and all our socials, including Facebook, Discord, Instagram. We do have an Instagram. If you're interested in seeing what we're
there's a car trying to squeeze through the middle there. I don't know where he's trying to slot back in terms of grid order, but he's finally found his spot. Everything's all sorted. It's all good. Back to racing. Here we go this time by. Cape will be on the high side once again. Cuts it down underneath that slick, trying to get some drive to the rear end of the number 18. And it's the 42 of Paul Bryan, who's led every lap of the feature so far. Look at him keep that car in a full-on slide. Gets the power down the back stretch. for lap number 30. There is going to be 15 more the next time by. Race is now 2/3 distance complete. Foot still in the floor from Mr. Paul Bryan. The rear bumper I did notice from Caples. Now got a few crinkles in it. Riley Jones sending it to the bottom side of Glenn McLeod. McLeod had to check up, had to bail out of the throttle. And here comes a slide job from Riley Jones. He'll send it from the bottom of the track all the way back up to the top. Glenn McLeod's going to try and over-under him. Are they going to race it back into turn number 1? Slide job once more. Glenn McLeod to the top of the racetrack. Jones back to the bottom. McLeod still trying to keep his foot in the gas from the slick. Riley Jones clears. Slide job. 3 laps in a row. Why don't you do so?
Well,
Mate, that is how you go racing on dirt.
That is. I was going to say, I can't top your enthusiasm there, mate. You're just too good at it.
That is perfect slide job and counterplay from both from Riley Jones and Glenn McLeod. That is perfect. You cannot ask for more. So slide job is trying to take the momentum away. You've got to pull the truck up. You lose a whole bunch of momentum, cutting it all the way down in there. But the other guy's only response is to cut back underneath you. And it's a tricky move to do. You've got to recognize it early. You've got to have visibility. Oh, shoot, hit on the inside barrier.
It was Aaron Hayden on After Dark Simboys again. He's been in the wars the last couple of laps.
Everyone's name sounds like Aaron or Hayden, right? It's just
yeah.
We've got
yeah.
It's difficult. It's difficult to be a commentator.
Yeah, I'm not a commentator, but I just pretend I am occasionally on a Monday night with you, Scott. I'm sure nobody's ever actually noticed.
That's okay, mate. We all pretend sometimes. I think you're doing a good job. I hope next week you read the track notes. It's not El Dorado, it's Eldora. So next week, it's not Daytona Toad, it's Daytona.
Daytona Toad. So that's where we are. So I should write that down now?
No, I've had the opposite effect. Oh.
You just said it was the Daytona Toad, so I write that in my track notes.
Daytona, have you ever been to the arcade? Have you ever been to the arcade?
Mate, no.
You love the arcade? You ever remember hearing Daytona?
Oh, mate. Come on. I'm from a racing background, not in Sims, but for cars, mate. I've spent lots of time at the arcade, and Daytona, I looked at actually buying one of the originals to put in my house, and my wife really thought that was a dumb way to spend $2.5 grand.
Mate, I think you need a divorce. I think you need to find somebody who appreciates your interests.
Yes. Yeah, like I haven't spent enough on my my own little, what I call the family room. Well, it used to get called the family room, as in my office. Like, I think
it's now the man cave. Yeah. It's
yeah.
Not the family room.
No, it's my office. It's lock the door when I'm in here so nobody can interrupt me. And I think we are just about to go green again.
And yes, we are. Riley Jones once again is going to send it to the inside. Keep your eyes on the run that Glenn McLeod's going to try and get from the top side of the track. Have a look at it. Paul Bryan, that nose clean, clear, and under control every lap so far tonight. Huge run from Glenn McLeod. Tries to send it to the top side. He'll cut back underneath. He's looking for the switchback. Now on the bottom side of the track. Nearly side by side as Glenn McLeod and Riley Jones. How many times can we say that tonight? Clears him, gets the note in front. Now it'll be Jones who'll go for the switchback. This is on for 3rd place. And with under 10 laps left to run, it's going to be so crucial. Once again, the switchback is worked. Now it'll be Nathan Allen, I believe, that's chomping at the bit. He's going to want to have a go at Glenn McLeod. Riley Jones really struggling on the top side. A lot of steering lock on, a lot of angle, and it's all gone wrong for Riley Jones. What a race up until that point. Oh, my word.
I think we I think a few people might have been caught up in the back of that. Even looked like everybody got around it then, but it looks like Darren and Gary might have been caught up in that instant. You can see quite a lot of damage on Gary's truck right there. Oh my gosh, are we going to go into NASCAR overtime if this happens one more time? One more yellow. Come on, NASCAR overtime. Come on. It's so exciting. I love it.
How many NASCAR overtimes have we had? You're
We've
just
had
you're just
2.
addicted.
Oh mate, when it first happened, I was like, what? It's a shootout. Like, best man wins.
In fact, often the best man doesn't even win.
Yeah.
It's the bravest man tends to win.
It's the one who ends up on his roof at 240 kilometers an hour and somehow makes it across the finish line before everybody else.
I've had the pleasure of calling races where the leader has won the race upside down.
Mate, I was watching a bit of history on NASCAR, and it's amazing how many cars have actually finished the race on their roof. It seems to be a thing.
Sideways, backwards, particularly when we go to super speedway tracks, everyone goes for it on the last lap. It's all caution thrown to the wind. So we are now lap 43. We have just started. So somebody's just been shuffled to the back here as well. So
Matthew Skulls.
Matty Skulls' the engine just blew.
Oh, Matty. Oh gosh, that's gonna make the grid a little bit out of sorts for the moment. It looks like they're all moving around. We are green again on board with Paul O'Brien taking up. Oh, there is a bit of action in the background. Get out of this view, Shibby.
And Paul Bryan once again gets to the lead. This time it's
NASCAR overtime.
Nathan Allen gets into somebody and ends their night. It's going to be Aiden Norris who ends up worse for wear with just about a blown engine. So he is going to be sent to the rear of the field.
I called it.
You did. I thought it was Capel on the bottom line. So it is Nathan Allen who just gets all sorts of sideways trying to hang it high, wide, and handsome. And tags and sends the car on their side. Is that Luke Georgeson? I think it might be Luke Georgeson. Oh! Who's he come back down in front of?
Peter Morris.
He's having it. Look, the benefit is if that's Pete's race over, he can now just grab the beer and finish it.
It looks like we've got... I can't see anybody. We got Luke Georgeson coming in the pits. I actually can't see anybody else looking like they've retired. We are still
How good is that?
Go NASCAR overtime. Let's go. I can't wait. All they got to do is get a lap in. Big shootout. Whoever makes it to the finish wins.
It is going to be whoever makes it to the finish wins. So remember, these guys are just going to send it now, right? Because they need to grab as many spots as quickly as they don't have time to build it around. They don't have time to set up the overtakes. They've just got to go for it as soon as they possibly can. So that is probably going to trigger our second green-white checkers. The problem is, on the second green-white checkers, whatever your spot is when that yellow flag flies, that's it. Race is locked in at that stage. No coming back around to try and take the white flag first. So this time by, we get the green. Next time by, we get the white. Next time by, the check is after that. However, should the yellow flag fall between the green flag and the white flag, we'll do it all over again. Should it fall after the white flag comes out, race is over. And Paul Bryan wants to set us off nice and quickly. Gets a great run. Glenn McLeod's going to get his first run to the inside of Lockie Capel. Had a little bit of a run earlier on. Now Nathan Allen is all sorts of sideways trying to hang on to the truck in the high groove. Gets it all settled down. Yellow flags out. NASCAR overtime attempt number 2.
Yeah, on to number 2. So that was Gary Redcliffe. I didn't even know you were sure what happens then. He still seems to be holding the car pretty straight.
Who cares? The racing's great. Let's keep going. Let's do more of this.
More.
Can I load in 20 NASCAR overtimes? Can we do this again and again?
Yes. Let's make it the longest NASCAR race ever. So this was straight after the green flag. So let's see what's happened here.
3 wide.
Oh, 3 wide. He's actually been clipped by oh my gosh, no, the After Dark boys are into each other.
You thought it was bad to be in the Riot Sim Racing booth a little bit earlier on getting words from Skullsy. Well, the After Dark boys may have a few words for each other.
Hard to see their numbers on their cars. They predominantly put their cars on the roof, if you haven't noticed, the After Dark boys. So,
look at that sun angle, though. We ain't spotting no numbers from the roof tonight. Oh, a couple.
It's not too bad. Yeah, but all the After Dark boys I have noticed have their number on their roof. It's not usually on the side of their car, which makes it very hard when I'm trying to...
Go,
work out who it
Scalzi!
is.
Get in there, son. He's getting his lap back. That's what he's doing.
Ah, yep. Oh, go there.
Get in there, son. Have you seen the Formula One race yet, perhaps?
No, because I don't have time.
Mate. For Monaco, it was actually a banger. Not that Monaco has many, so the bar is pretty low, but it was a banger. So there's just so much racing to watch over the weekend. Like I said, Nürburgring 24-hour, Monaco, Coke 600, Indy 500. I still haven't seen the Indy 500. No spoilers. Anyway, the SRW TV Eldora 45. That's an important one on the calendar.
Of course it is. Mark it down this time. Now, just write it down. make sure you're here.
SRW Green White Checkers number 2. First ever attempt at second Green White Checkers. Nathan Allen did not get a great start. He was up and high in the slick. Next caution flag will end the race. It's all about grabbing as many spots as you possibly can. And it's a melee back in the pack. They're about 4 wide. Trying to hang on to it.
Again, After Dark boys.
Sending it. The yellow flag's going to come out. It is all over. We've run out of overtime attempts. That is the race. Paul Bryan leaves every lap of the feature on his route to victory. Lachlan Capel locks in second place. He sat behind Paul Bryan on his outside every single restart of the night. He'll come home in second. And Glenn McLeod, I believe, is going to get third, or it might be Nathan Allen, actually. Okay, all right, boys, we get it. There's bad blood in the water after the last restart, but come on, 2 cautions in a row?
And by the After Dark boys, again, it did, from what I could see, look like a bit of netcode that might have happened in there to cause the start of that.
I guarantee you there will still be a grin from ear to ear.
Mate, if they didn't enjoy the racing tonight, then I don't know what they're doing here. I know I've enjoyed it. I've got a grin from ear to ear.
Look at Capel. These boys are now just into the post-race expression session. Give me a sec.
Peter Morris has just dropped into chat. Woohoo, 10th. Well done, Peter, tonight. You struggled a bit, mate, getting caught up in some incidents that weren't entirely your fault, and you've made it into 10th.
I just said on the in-race radio, go on, boys. Post-race expression session. Have some fun. Let's go.
Destruction Derby.
And that's the result.
Yeah, Destruction Derby, boys. Get into it.
Where's Dano when you need him? This is what he excels at. Did Capel just find the barriers on the entry to pit lane?
I think he might have, actually. Yeah, we can see him right there. Oh, we've got a truck going backwards as well. Get into it, lads. Get into it.
Oh, my word.
Good to see them all having a bit of fun after a pretty intense race tonight. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you all for joining us. If you have enjoyed this broadcast tonight, please let us know by hitting a like or following and subscribing to our socials.
Tell you what, let's see if we can get a few guys in here.
David.
I don't care about the podium. I don't want to talk to the podium. I want to talk to Peter Morris, actually. He's one of the ones I want to move into the broadcast booth. We'll grab him. We don't talk to J-Mac often enough. Let's talk to J-Mac.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk to Braden Martin.
Let's ignore the podium. Let's do it differently tonight, Scott.
Let's just talk to everyone all at once. Let's
just drag all 19 people in. Don't make it hard for the producer to adjust the sound or anything.
No, absolutely not. You're going to have so much fun fixing this up. Capel's here as well. It's the post-race show. Paul Bryan's in here. We got everyone. Boys, let's go in terms of reverse order. So we'll start with the guys that won the race, because that wasn't the best position to finish in. It was actually the best fun was at the back end of the pack. So we'll work our way back to the actual winners of tonight, whoever finished at the back. So we'll start with Paul Bryan. Paul, every lap of the race on your way to victory, mate. You look like you had an absolute banger.
Yeah, that was fun, mate. Even though it wasn't just driving them trucks around Eldora or any speedway track is just good fun.
Mate, this is your preferred discipline as far as I understand it, but normally it's in a dirt sprint car. What's the difference between a dirt sprint car and a NASCAR truck?
a lot less grip in the truck than the sprint car. Really, I guess it's the weight. You really got to turn the wheel a lot more in a NASCAR truck than what you do in a sprint car.
But it's still all about playing with that right foot, isn't it, to get the car to
and
rotate?
it's definitely throttle control's massive. That's really the most important thing. Is once you get late in the feature and it slickens off, it's all about throttle control and how smooth you can come off the corner.
All right,
keep
so
the outside wheel into the nice moist dirt.
Congratulations on the victory again tonight, Paul. We wanted to talk to you last week, so congratulations on the podium again last week. It looks like you are set in terms of starting the hunt down towards Lachlan Capel. Speaking of Lachlan Capel, he finished second last tonight. So in terms of the fun stakes, Mr. Capel, you got to learn a few things from watching Paul Bryan all night, but pretty much every caution, the only sight we were looking for was the good old Capel wiggle on the backstretch.
Yeah, I kind of had a little bit of fun. Grant said he didn't want to turn up because he didn't want carnage, and it was kind of that. But at the front, I'm not very good at dirt, but I have driven the trucks on dirt before, so.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it, but I ended up next to Paul and battling Paul, and that's a win. And second in the championship, second in the race is not too bad. Picking up the feature win, my heat win as well. So we'll see how we go.
All right, thumbs up to Lockie Capel. We'll hang on to the championship lead another round. Glenn McLeod's not here in the podium. Nathan Allam's not here as well. Darren Parmenter, not here. Braden Martin, the first time we've spoken to you this season, mate.
No.
The run of finishes that we have here for you is fourth, a few more fourths, and not quite getting to talk to us every week. You've been itching for this opportunity, haven't you, buddy?
Yeah, it's not the way I'd like to come talk to you, Scott, but we'll get in here on merit one day.
Mate, you got on here on merit tonight by merit of showing up.
Yeah, true. Fair point, which almost didn't happen, seeing as I had no internet about 6 minutes before the server opened.
Yeah, I was about in the same boat as you, so I don't understand those pain. Look, mate, you've been having a blast learning your pathway through the Oval Series. Dirt, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. My only Aussie Car League race was actually in a Skippy on dirt, so that's about the length of my dirt career. But yeah, it was weird. I got hit a couple of times at the start from people spinning and didn't realize that the meatball flag was merely a suggestion. I didn't realize it was you can fix this after the race kind of thing. So I used both my fast repairs up pretty early, which I probably didn't need to and could have held position on the track. So yeah, made a lot of overtakes, at least trying to work my way back through the field. So that's something I don't normally do. So yeah.
Well, mate, I'm sure next week with the trip to Daytona, we might finally get to talk to you as a podium place finisher. Right, moving on from Braden Martin, Jeremy Bush, another guy that we got to see showing his wares, ended up with a consolation race win here tonight, mate. Started towards the tail end of the field, but finished P7. Got to be happy with things.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to be the best of the worst.
And more importantly, you got to play in the dirt. That's what it was all about, wasn't it?
It was crazy. I had about 5 laps practice beforehand. Got in here a bit late, and realised I needed a bit more than that. But it was awesome fun. Yes, certainly out of my comfort zone, that's for sure.
And most importantly, did you listen to the Hudson Hornets' most famous words, turn right to go left?
Absolutely. It's my favourite movie.
Oh, Cars, cracker. All right. Good to hear from you, Mr. Bush. J-Mac, I believe
Mac.
This is the first time we've had you in a post-race booth for a conversation. In
It
all
would
the time
be. It would be as a racer, maybe as an admin in once, but yeah, not really don't do too well in the races, usually at the back end, but it's nice to be on the dirt and have some fun tonight.
To be perfectly honest, the reason why I dragged everyone in is I think the racing at the tail end of the field was actually a lot more fun. Everyone seemed to get that childish giggle going on, didn't they, back there, John?
Oh, I think so. I think everyone was having a bit of a ball back there. Just try not to take each other out, but sliding around, having some good fun out there.
I think the best racing that I saw tonight was actually the consolation race. It was you and George Minus going head to head. I think he's raced just about every lap of the consolation race side by side.
Yeah, I was trying not to hit poor George on the outside of him a few times there. I was sliding up into him, trying to give him as much space as I could.
I think George was trying to do the exact same to you, not come down the track and hit you.
It was pretty much trying not to hit each other. That was how it was going. So, yeah, that was some good fun.
Well, mate, absolute pleasure. Thank you for dropping by. Aiden Norris, next one in behind John McHenry. So things have, for you, Aiden, in terms of a championship hunt, it's been show a bit of speed at some points during the race, but the finishes have just slipped away from you a little bit now, haven't they?
Oh, you're not wrong there, mate. Just fucking in that race there, just went full send and just saw what happened and didn't end up too well, but can't complain with a top 10 or 9th, wherever I finished.
I think the favourite part that we had from the stream tonight was probably bringing Scalzi in here just after you two got into a little bit of beef out on track. So have you got any words for Scalzi that are appropriate for a PG rated audience?
Oh, we always butt heads in any series, any car we race, we always butt heads. So it's it's always good to have fun, and that's how I always punt him. So it's always fun.
Scalzi, care to respond?
Yeah, that's always good fun. I'm like I said earlier, it's just completely different. I've done no laps here, and yeah, it was good fun. I was actually really learning on the way. Like, I think if you looked at my practice earlier when we jumped in for a couple of laps before the racing, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but it slowly was coming towards me.
That's just it. It's all about learning and having fun. It's a rookie. It's targeted towards an entry-level series, and it's targeted to get everyone out there on the circuit and having fun and trying to pick up a new skill set. So mission accomplished, I think, in terms of that. But Scalzi, I think the most important words that you need to say back to him is, it's okay, Aiden. I'll get you next week, mate.
Probably get him tonight, actually, in a race after this.
Tip for you, the lucky dog only works if you're not involved in the caution. So if you get involved in the caution, you won't get the lucky dog.
Yeah, okay. It was more of a question is there a lucky dog in this dirt stuff? Because I have no idea. That's why I was just, when someone goes, no lucky dog, I was like, oh, no. Lap down, I'm never getting that back, because obviously the boys at the front are real quick, so...
All good, mate. Well, pleasure having you on board. We sort of cut our way around a little bit. Pete Morris, we got a few comments from you. How did the sipper meter go as the race went on?
Yeah, look, very disappointing, the sipper meter. I was in a hurry to jump in. I've left the wine in the fridge, and all I had was like some water next to me. And I was thinking, do I have time to duck to the fridge? And it's like, no, I do not.
Mate, I think that showed in your driving talents. I think it probably would have been a lot quicker and a lot better from you with a little bit of wine.
Oh, mate, yeah, that is definitely, you're not the first person to say that. And like, racing does seem a bit better when there's a few sherbs on board.
Well, dirt and wine, they're kind of sort of similar things, you got to have a little bit of age in the wine, a little bit of age in the dirt generally makes it a bit better, mate.
Well, it's all healthy. I mean, it's fruit, so...
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here tonight. It was fantastic watching you go around the circuit.
That was awesome.
Have we touched on everyone? We've missed one guy. Leon. Are you with us there, Leon?
Hello, how are you?
Mate, I think you had one of the most bang-up fun races back there. I saw you 3 wide, I think about good 10 laps, I would say.
It was good fun. Yeah, she's definitely got to go and get the old panels straightened up and go back to Sign Right for some more painting, I think, over the next week. But what a ball. That was just great fun.
So, recommendation from coming out of that, Leon, is yes, Eldora needs to be the first round, the second round, the third round, the fourth round, we'll go to Bristol Dirt. That's okay. The 5th round back to Eldora again. We might go to Knoxville thereafter. Does that sound about right?
No. It was fun, but geez, it's a hell of a workout, isn't it? You're going left, right, and
turn right, go left.
Fun.
Come out of the throttle a little bit, back into it. Now I want the car to spin a little bit more.
I was impressed that we saw one almost go over on his roof tonight. So
there you go. That's what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of SRW TV's first ever dirt oval race brought to you as part of the NASCAR Truck Series. And Nathan, I think the mood in the room was, let's do that again.
100%, mate. 100%.
Not tonight.
I want to go again right now. Let's get a redo. Redo it. Run it again.
Okay, boys. What do we think? Everyone, or just show of hands all at once. Do we reckon the trucks are coming back again next season first?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bring them back.
Yeah. Okay. Trucks are coming back next season. Is dirt oval racing coming back next season as well?
Got it. I think we need to go.
No.
No.
Well, Jeremy, it's been a pleasure having you as a part of the series. Here's your $10 entry fee back, and everyone else, thanks for having us. Yeah, it's been... Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute cracker here from not the road to El Dorado, the road to Eldora. Nathan Shibby Howard. It's been a cracker of an event, cracking racing. Paul Ryan walks away with the win, and I think the vote of confidence from everyone.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It was an absolutely fantastic race tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Look,
is that Leon on screen?
Yeah,
Leon,
it is,
that
yep.
looks sick. That was a great drift, mate. More of that. If you can do that every lap, you'll go faster. Trust me. Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyway, Pete, less of that. Pete Morris, less of that in the fence there. Yeah, just a little bit less of that. You'll go faster. Yeah.
I think I need to remove the magnet because it was either hitting the fence or I was drawn into other cars. So I'll go over this thing, during the week and make sure there's no magnets left on it for next week.
Is that why you're the only Fishy Boys entry? Because one of the boys from the team's put a magnet somewhere in the car.
Yeah. Dodgy bastards reckon they're going to come and run with me next season. So there'll be some more fishies, next season for this. So yeah.
Yeah, a few more glasses of wine to be consumed, I think, as well. Nathan, bring us to a close for the evening, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So that'll wrap up our coverage of the SRW NASCAR Oval Trucks tonight with our encyclopedia of all things oval, Scotty Rankin and Nathan Shibby Howard here on Sim Racing World TV. If you enjoyed our broadcast, make sure you follow all our socials, links in the descriptions below. On behalf of the management and broadcast team here at SRW TV, signing off saying good night, thank you all for joining us, and congratulations to all our drivers.